Rumors are that allegedly Kim and Kroy's divorce was one big stunt. Why did they do it? And did they benefit anything from it? Well, I have some new information that may answer all of those questions and more right after this. What's up, kinfolk? And welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, do me a favor and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, do me a favor and get notified so you'll know whenever I upload new videos to the channel. All right, kinfolk, come on into the house. We have a lot to talk about. And it centers around rumors that allegedly Kim and Kroy and their divorce was all one big lie. Why did they do it? And did they benefit anything from it? I have some new information that may answer all of those questions and more. And here it goes. Rumors are that allegedly Kim and Kroy were never getting a divorce and that everything was all lies. A source said, behind the scenes, everyone knew that Kim and Kroy weren't getting a divorce. It was crazy to begin with. Allegedly, their kids were also in on it, and they were living peacefully behind closed doors in the midst of all of the fake rumors of chaos, fighting, and alleged kidnappings. The source continued. Anyone with the slightest financial knowledge could tell that their divorce was fake from the beginning. No way in hell could Kim and Kroy pay off their massive debts separately. It's going to take a joint effort. So the question is, why would Kim and Kroy allegedly lie about getting a divorce and cause all of this unnecessary drama for their family and their teams? Well, an industry insider said, allegedly it was all for a storyline to help Kim get back on Real Housewives of Atlanta. The source continued, they were never getting a divorce, and that was clear from the beginning. Kim and Kroy knew exactly how much debt they had acquired, and that their late house payments and loan defaults were allegedly already at the top of their financial list. The source continued, Kim and Kroy would have been super crazy to get a divorce in the midst of all of their financial obligations and lawsuits. Adding divorce attorney fees on top of everything would have been game over for any amount of money they may have stashed away personally away from their joint accounts. And Kim isn't crazy, said the source. When it comes to her money, she knows exactly what she's doing. She's only reckless when it comes to other people's money, ended the source. All sources agree that they too smelled an old school kimzolciak stunt, noting that behind the scenes, Kroy is her rock, and no matter what, she could never leave him because he is the only person who holds her down, right or wrong. Another source said, despite her best efforts, she probably knew that Real Housewives of Atlanta fans overwhelmingly didn't want her back on the show. And if she did return, Bravo could use her low fan favorability numbers against her and offer her a low ball number contract. Something the source said probably wouldn't have covered her and Kroy's BMW bill. Now, kinfolk, that's a lot of information coming out from the news today that Kim and Kroy are not getting a divorce and they're calling everything off. But kinfolk, let's get right into this rumor because it's one part of this rumor that I am just not surprised by. And it's this. Kinfolk, I'm not surprised by them calling off their divorce simply because the numbers weren't adding up. You know, like the source said, anybody with an ounce of financial knowledge knows that a divorce can be very expensive, especially for a couple who allegedly does not have a prenup in place. And so you take all their financial obligations that they had on the table and have on the table. It would only make sense that they would stay together as a couple so they can take advantage of a lot of tax breaks and a lot of lawsuit advantages that they get when an entity is suing a married couple. So they have a lot of protections when it comes to lawsuits being a married couple. So with that being said, it seems as if they would have stayed together, if not nothing but for the financial gain and the financial protection that a marriage offers both of them. Now, kinfolk, with that being said, I'm also not surprised by the fact that they called off this divorce after the last round of lawsuits because of non-payment. And the reason why I'm not surprised they called off this divorce around the same time these other lawsuits came about is because some of these lawsuits are probably going to be proceeding very fast because they are corporate lawsuits, if I'm not mistaken, and they have the ability to go ahead and move things to the court. So Kim and Kroy probably, even if they were getting a divorce, would have to have sped things up in a very super speedy way in order to combat this lawsuit and trying to figure out who was their fault. Or they would probably have to go through this lawsuit still as a married couple. So with that being said, I can see why they probably called off the divorce because of these new lawsuits coming up, and probably coming fast. Now, kinfolk, it is another reason why I'm not too surprised about this divorce being called off, because I think Kroy gave their big stunt away last month. And the thing that he gave away, or the clue that he gave away that this divorce wasn't real, is this. Kroy, when he asked for sole custody of their kids, I knew that was a stunt. I knew this divorce was not going to proceed because, one, Kroy taking care of all of those kids on his own, it was not going to happen. Also, if Kim does not have the money, what type of child support was she going to be able to give him? Now, some people saying that at the moment, Kim has the most breadwinner potential simply because she can get asked back to Real Housewives of Atlanta and immediately bring in a high six-figure number. True. And that could possibly be money that Kroy could see. However, once you add in their debts and their payments and things of that nature, one has to ask, how much money would Kim have left over from a high six-figure payday from Bravo? So with that being said, I think that was a telltale sign that they were not getting a divorce. Simply put, Kroy was not going to take care of all of those kids by himself, and I don't know no one who believed that he would or he could. So with that being said, I think that kind of added to the whole intrigue about their divorce. Because normally in a divorce, it is the woman who takes the kids. So the talk then became, why doesn't he want Kim to have their children or have custody over their children? Is Kim doing something nefarious behind the scenes? Is she just such a horrible mother? Like, what is she doing behind the scenes? And it kind of added to their allure that a lot of people had at the time that they could have leverage to get back on the show to see exactly what is Kim doing behind the scenes. Now, with that being said, kinfolk, another part of this divorce not proceeding, I think, was given away as a stunt, and it was done by Kim herself, and it's this. Kim being desperate to return to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, I think, was a telltale sign also that this whole divorce was a stunt. You know, allegedly, Kim met with Andy before she even met with a divorce attorney when the announcement was made that her and Kroy were getting a divorce. Now, it seems as if you were trying to desperately get away from someone, if someone's making your life hell on wheels, and that you felt so manipulated, it seems as if you would try to get away from that person as soon as possible. You would have used everything in your power to make sure that you could escape that person quickly and financially stable. So the first person you probably would have hit up would have been your divorce attorney. But sources are saying allegedly it was actually Andy. And I think if you are to believe that part of the rumor, because that part, and is alleged information, one could probably see how she probably would go to Andy or the network first to see how she could craft this divorce into a storyline to get back on the franchise. I mean, it's not too far-fetched because Kim is an old school OG of Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she knows the importance of producing a great storyline and narrative for the cameras. So that part I could see as being somewhat true. So if you are to believe the rumor that Kim met with Andy allegedly before she even met with a divorce attorney, then that goes to show you it was all a stunt from the beginning. Now, Kim folk, it's the last thing about this rumor that I think Kim and Kroy may actually benefit from. And it's probably the only thing that they're probably going to get away from this divorce stunt. And it's this. Rumors are that allegedly Kim may have secured a spot on the next season of the Ultimate Girls Trip. Sources are saying that, they wanted Kim real bad and that she was actually asked allegedly to be on this season that's currently filming, but the cast had already been chosen and that she's a shoo-in to return next season for the Ultimate Girls Trip. If you know that deal was allegedly brokered right after her divorce announcement from Kroy. And so there you go. A lot of attention was on Kim. A lot of people want to see her and a lot of people want to know and get an update about what's going on in her life. Now, Kim folk, I mean, if you look at it that way, you have to assume that, maybe this divorce stunt, really did help their career out, or at least help them out financially for the time being, and that it proved to be something that Kim was actually able to pull off. But Kim folk, at the end of the day, like the sources are saying, it's no way that Kim could have really leveraged her divorce from Kroy with the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise into something extremely lucrative. Now, sources are saying that, the whole privilege that Kim has at Bravo, no one could tell. But behind the scenes, producers were allegedly feeling like Kim's divorce storyline probably could add a layer to the group dynamic, but Kim is notoriously private, and she would probably not give that much away regarding her and Kroy's life behind closed doors. So it led everyone to believe this next thing, and it's this. Although Kim was able to allegedly manage to score a spot on on the Ultimate Girls Trip, her low fan favorability numbers were not at a place she needed them to be in order to secure a peach at Bravo. Behind the scenes, allegedly, that is what my sources were saying was a determining factor. Something that was not allegedly told to her directly, but to maybe someone on her team that got back to her that, hey, your fan favorability numbers are low, and that, your numbers coming back may not be high in terms of a contract. Now, that right there is speculation. But again, if you are to believe these rumors and this alleged information, one could really infer that if you look at people's reaction, especially the core Real Housewives of Atlanta fan base, if you looked at their reaction regarding Kim returning, her numbers in terms of fan favorability were at the lowest of any former housewife. No one wanted her to return. So looking at that and probably figuring that she probably could be lowball with a contract and seeing how she had some lawsuits that probably were proceeding at a very high speed, it was only quite natural that she and Kroy turned off their divorce and backed away from getting their divorce or backed away from this alleged divorce stunt. It makes sense looking at it from that perspective. But Kim folk, I want to know what you guys think. Did you ever think that Kim and Kroy were really getting a divorce? Or do you think it was a stunt from the beginning just so Kim could try to secure a peach on Real Housewives of Atlanta? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, Kim folk, as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys over on the next one. Peace.